Welcome to another episode of our Saboteur Safari. I'm Sandra, a certified professional coach and mental fitness trainer. Mental fitness is a measure of the strength of our positive mental capacity versus the negative self-sabotaging habits of the mind. The findings I share here are based on long-standing research by Stanford lecturer Shirzad Chamine, author of the New York Times bestseller, Positive Intelligence. Today, I will focus on the hyperachiever saboteur. Why that? Well, it turns out that this inner saboteur has been a long-standing companion of mine, present on my mind throughout my career as communications expert and manager while I was making my way up through a couple of leading corporate multinationals. You may want to check that on my LinkedIn profile if you're interested. Well, that's actually also where hyperachievers prefer to breed, the corporate world, causing quite some impact or damage, if you will. Well, it may depend actually on the lens you're wearing. So here I am, ready to share as a recovering corporate professional with an inner hyperachiever saboteur. People with that bias depend on constant performance and success. Well, you could say they have invented the extra mile, and they don't go the extra mile, they run it, trying to excel in every thinkable way. This helps them to validate themselves and feel self-respect. Their strong focus on external success can lead to unhealthy workaholic tendencies, which may also affect others, namely team members and peers who may receive email requests in the middle of the night or in the middle of the weekend with their response expected by the next day, of course. At a deeper level, people with a hyperachiever saboteur may have lost touch with their emotional needs and their capacity to connect and bond with someone. This is why they may actually prefer to keep others at a safe distance. Some typical thoughts you may have if you have a hyperachiever saboteur: I must be best at what I do. If I can't be outstanding, I won't even bother. I must be efficient and effective. Emotions just get in the way. They're distracting. I can be anything I want to be. You're worthy as long as you are successful and others think well of you. Now, at this point, you may argue, I wouldn't be where I am without my strong drive to perform. And indeed, you have a point here. The question is, how is your success in sync with your happiness? Being able to achieve things is a great strength, as long as you don't overuse this strength or use it constantly in every circumstance. This is where the hyper comes in and spoils the game. You tend to turn a walk in the park with your loved ones into a marathon or a competitive sprint, at least. You expect your kids to bring home top grades, ideally heading up their age group at school. Right? Your motto is no pain, no gain. You invest all your energy in getting faster, better, and ideally famous and admired. How exhausting for you, for others, if you're honest. I was just going to talk a bit more about the feelings of someone with a hyperachiever saboteur, but I'm aware, of course, that you don't like dwelling in feelings for too long. They distract you from achieving your goals. Sometimes your success may suddenly seem a bit half-mast, a bit stale, and then you may feel empty and depressed inside, but you don't linger there. You would rather not choose to ever present yourself in a vulnerable way. Then others would see that you are not as perfect as the image you portray. Now, Here's the issue with the hyperachiever saboteur, because this is the voice on your mind that keeps telling you these lies. Life is about producing results. Feelings are just a distraction and don't help anything. These lies have an impact on yourself and others around you. And if you pull up the camera to look at your life from a bird's eye view, you may see that peace and happiness are fleeting and short-lived in your brief celebrations of achievement. You're always on the run because your self-acceptance depends on the next success and the next and the next. And there is more to it. If you're honest with yourself, you may find that you have lost touch with your deeper feelings, your deeper self, and your ability to connect deeply with others. What a lonely place. If you have recognized yourself, you may ask why you seem to be hardwired that way. Well, saboteurs are formed in our early childhood. They start off as our guardians to help us survive the real and imagined threats to our physical and emotional safety when we're kids. By the time we are adults, these saboteurs are no longer needed, but they have become invisible inhabitants of our mind. Your self-validation, self-acceptance, and self-love are all conditional, conditioned on continual performance. This is often the result of either conditional or altogether absent validation we received when we were kids. Even with very loving and approving parents, it is easy for children to get the sense that they're loved in return for achieving, obeying the rules, having good manners, etc., rather than unconditionally. At this point, you will have heard enough to know if this is you. Or maybe you know someone who may need to watch this. You don't need to stay there, putting up with the high price you pay, day in, day out. I'm aware that with a hyperachiever bias, you may have followed me to this point only if you really feel stuck somehow. Maybe feeling that emptiness inside, trying to bridge the gap between success and something else, something meaningful, some peace of mind, possibly. Here's the thing. You can learn to stop your hyperachiever saboteur and use all the pressure and stress you experience as a helpful alert, and then quickly shift to the positive region of the brain, that part of your brain that has the calm, objectivity, clarity, and creativity to handle a challenge most effectively. The app-supported Positive Intelligence program helps you to train your mental fitness in only 6 weeks, combined with my heartfelt personal support for you. Your Positive Intelligence quotient, called PQ, is the percentage of time your mind is serving you versus sabotaging you. And you can boost your PQ significantly with practice. And with 3 times, 3 minutes, mental workout per day, you can track and measure your progress while you build your mental muscle. All this for you to learn how to act like your best friend and not your enemy. In case this did not sound like this is you, I invite you to check which of the 10 saboteurs is doing the greatest harm to you right now and take the free saboteur assessment. You find the link somewhere nearby. Make sure to share your findings with me in a call, and I will be happy to explore your next steps together with you and see if possibly we may be a good fit to work together.